Hey guys, welcome to another episode of MJ Adventures. And today I am trying out some of my wines. So now I have three on the go right now. I've got one over here in the primary fermentator. That one is actually Concord grapes, which is my first trial of that one. I just started it a little bit ago, so I have to get a specific gravity reading and see if it's going. I have a blueberry, which actually turned to vinegar. So this is actually my second wine that I had, and it was tasting really, really good, but I screwed up. And so here's the funny thing about making wine is the fact that you can screw up at any stage of the process. And so in this one, I had too much oxygen in here and I left too much room in the top. So lesson learned. But we're still going to use the blueberry. It's just going to be more for salads now. So blueberry vinegar. It's interesting tasting, but like ultimately very disappointing when you're expecting wine and you get vinegar. So anyway, after a little bit of a YouTube research, I realized, oh wow, I didn't top that off near enough. And it was contrary to what a couple people had said. It's like, oh yeah, it's fine, just leave whatever you want in the top as long as you airlock it. Well, no, that's wrong. So, and then I have my mixed berry, which should be ready to go into bottles. So this will be the first time that I'm actually bottling something. So what I found was I found these nice rim top glasses that I'm just gonna cap and put off, and so they seal nice and tight and they look kind of cool. So that's what we're gonna do for the wine here, because I don't have a cork resealer. I have a couple bottles that I could probably press the cork into, but you know, we're just gonna go with it. And like I said, everything is an experiment, and overall I've had a really fun time making this wine. I found it really enjoyable, so we're just gonna see what we get. And we'll try this little blueberry out. Like, I don't know, it's vinegar. What do you wanna do? So I've got everything sanitized up as best I can. And I swear, this is the bane of my existence, this little pipette deal. I'll just take another specific gravity reading just to be sure. And, oh, see, bloopers already. So we'll just let that drain in here. I don't know, any of you other winemakers out there, if you have any better tricks for doing this without putting a whole lot of oxygen in there, I would love to know your secrets, because I find this is the most painstaking process that, like, you're trying not to get as much as you can in there, and I always end up really having a really tough time not making a giant mess of things while doing this process. And I always lose a little bit of wine, which I don't want to, but like, that's just how she rolls most of the time. I can't even think of what the name of that thing called. We'll just call it the siphon for now. So I mean, like, as you can see, it's really nice and clear. This blueberry tasted awesome before. Actually, it's not that bad. Interesting. I don't know, maybe there was something wrong before, but that tastes actually pretty good. Well, out of all my stuff, everybody's been saying that doing the extra research on stuff really helps out in the long run, and sometimes just being patient and waiting is like the best thing for wine. So, looking like I'm at probably 0.99. Maybe just a little bit above there, so 0.98. And I've been making sure I'm keeping track of all of these really well. So I started this brew on the 12th of March, and it is now the 15th of June, all around 2 p.m. Siphoned. So, I don't know why that tasted like vinegar the last time. I thought I really screwed it up. I don't That tastes pretty good. It's a little tart, but it's not bad. Anyway, so maybe my blueberry wine turned out after all, and I just had to wait a little bit for it, which is awesome because this is a really good tasting drink. So I just gotta clean everything. I got my little cleaning spot over here. Try to keep everything really nice and sanitary as best I can. So what I do is I have a little cleaning solution that I throw into my sink, and then I rock and roll with it from there. Let's see if we can get this in here without stirring up the bottle too much. This is probably a no-no, pouring it back in, but we're just gonna cap that off and let it go for another week, and then we'll see if we want to bottle that, because it actually came out really, really nice. So I'm unsure as how, like I said, if you've done a lot of homemade brewing and you have any tips on auto siphoning it out of here without stirring up the mix too much, that would be super useful. So, and you know, lesson learned, next time I'll throw some grape juice concentrate in there and play around with it a little bit more. I think that might work better. I'm still confused at why that tasted so vinegary the last time. Maybe I had an unclean glass that I poured it in, but it was really bitter tasting. So that tastes more like it should. Well, patience is a virtue, I guess, of which I have very little of most of the time. So I'm really impressed with how clear that came out though. It's really nice. It's like almost like a dark rosé. And it's pleasant. It's a little tart, but it's not bad. So just recap that one. We'll put it back in the drawer for a while, and then we'll work on the other ones. All right, so now I've got my mixed berry. This is my third batch of mixed berry, and this one is an interesting flavor. I mean, it's not 100% awesome. I think I might have to add some, just like add a little bit of sugar or maybe some grape juice into there, just because it's very, very fruity. But yeah, it turned out really well. We're just gonna take a measurement here for the specific gravity and make sure it's stopped. And then I'm gonna try to actually bottle this one today. So, and like I said, I'm not gonna store this for a long time. Like, that's a little bit out of my league at this point. But I just want to try to get it to the point where like it's gonna be really awesome. And I filled this one up. It's already been stabilized, so it should be okay. Like I said, I hate siphoning this stuff. So trying to keep oxygen out of the mixture is like darn near impossible for me. I just don't know how they do it and keep it from like getting all those oxygen bubbles into the brew. So I've kind of developed a little bit of a system where I'll just kind of pull this out, but I don't think that's gonna work. Nope, I definitely screwed that up. Maybe. Might have it. Okay, there we go. I'll just keep that in there. All right. See if we have too much. Nope. Oh, it's gonna be just enough. It would definitely pay to have like 4 hands for this. So, but Misha's at work, hence why I'm filming by myself. It's definitely a lot quieter around the house when Misha isn't around, but also very hard to do videos. Okay, here we go. So we'll do our gravity here. Give it a little spin. Ooh, wow, yeah. That looks to me as being a little bit like 0.98. Yeah, 0.98. So we're definitely done. Let's see that one. Yep. So this one's ready to bottle. That's my last specific gravity I took on the 9th, and it's now the 15th of June. So that one is mission complete. So we're gonna try to bottle that. And so I left the siphon in there. So I'm gonna put it in this big bottle here. Throw this in the cleaning vat here. I guess I didn't need to throw that in the vat, but I didn't know necessarily if I was going to be doing it again or if I could actually bottle this one today. So it looks to be good. So now I'm just gonna throw these in the refrigerator because they'll go pretty quick for us. Try to get this at a low level here. I need like a step stool that I can siphon this on into there. Maybe if I just open up the drawer, it'll be enough. Probably gonna make a mess out of my drawer. But you know, epic bloopers are always fun when you do these things. That's filling up nicely. I love how much wine you can make off of just like a gallon of liquid. I mean, like I thought this little home brew kit was gonna be way too small, but it's actually turned out to be really, really useful. And I've gotten a couple things of wine off of it. Like I said, my first blueberry that I added in was actually really, really good. Okay, so we'll just top that off. Go a little higher. There we go. Well, there's round one. I wonder how many bottles of this I'm gonna put in there. I only have 3 of these bottles, so it's a good thing we drink a lot of wine, so they'll be gone before long. I got these bottles at IKEA. Actually, correction, I got 1 at the dollar store and then 2 at IKEA. Oh man, it's coming out really nice and clear too. So now I swapped carboys twice, so I went from primary fermentation into 1 carboy, and then a couple weeks ago, I think, I swapped again to another carboy. So coming up nice and slow here, trying to keep the oxygen out. Let's go a little bit more there. I can always just top it off with whatever I have in my graduated cylinder there. There we go. Boom. Well, there's 2. All right, we got 1 more. That'll just hang out there. Wow, look at this. 3 bottles off of 1 carboy, and I'm not even done yet. Looks like we're gonna have some homemade mixed berry wine tonight, boys and girls. Let's go. Love it. So it'll be interesting to see how much sediment is gonna be at the bottom. I bet if I let this go a little bit longer, it'd probably get really, really clear. So, but then again, I said I'm impatient, so can't wait that long. So I think my next one in the primary fermentation, I'll leave for quite a while and just see, because it seems to be that age does everything for these things. I mean, even my blueberry, which was tasting like vinegar, is now actually doing pretty decent. So, and I can taste the alcohol in there. So I don't know how that switched over or if it just needed a little bit more time. But I love getting first time goes on stuff. That's the best. Okay, there we go. Look at that. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna try something fancy here, which is not gonna be great. Try to get a little bit of that in here. Next one. Oh, look at this. This is gonna be awesome. It's probably not the best solution, but we're just gonna top these off a little bit. Try to roll it down the side so it doesn't get too much oxygen in there. Boom. Yeah, let's go all the way to the top. I'm gonna stick these in the fridge, so that should halt any excess fermentation from happening. So I've watched enough YouTube videos that like there really is no good way to stop a home brew from re-fermentation. I don't even know if that's a word. From starting fermentation again. So especially if you add sugars, I guess the stabilizers are supposed to stop that process, and potassium sorbate. Anyway, I'd have to look at my notes for that one, but for me right now, it's just going to be easier to stop the fermentation by keeping it cool until it's ready to drink. And it's not like it's going to go far, so we're still in experimental mode anyway, so this should be enough to keep the oxygen out, and then we have 3 bottles of some pretty nice wine. Cool. Okay, so here we have my Concord grape wine. So now, I don't know, this one did something weird again, so, and as usual, because I'm impatient, I've been trying my best not to kill my yeast, and I didn't have a really super strong temp on this one. Oh yeah, I'm starting to ferment. Okay, yeah. So we got some good fermentation going in there. So if you tip over a little bit, you can kind of see I got some bubbles going. So I've started the process. So I didn't kill my yeast, but I didn't start them off really strong. So, and yesterday, or not yesterday, what was it? Yeah, started this one the 10th of June, and in starting, specific gravity was 1.14. And then I checked it, and it was still 1.14, and so I was like, well, what the hell? So now, I'm gonna see if I have any movement on there, or if I need to do something fancy. So, and this one smells really good. Like, I didn't know that the grapes would smell that good, but they're actually very tasty. So I don't have to be super careful with oxygenation right now, but I still try to do the best I can, or at least upon whatever I've read. Like, you don't have to be super crazy with your oxygen level at this point. It's still just a battle doing this though. Gosh, I hate this. I wish there was like an auto siphon that just like, see, that just totally got too much oxygen in there. I guess I just have to accept that I'm gonna lose a little bit of stuff when I do this, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna keep all of the wine. All of the wine must be saved. All right, so look at that color. It's really nice pink. I think this will be like a really nice rosé, which I'm not super big on rosé, but you know. Let's go grapes. First time go. Oh yeah, now we've got some movement. So all I did to restart this was give it a stir, and that was yesterday, so seems to be doing the trick. Let's see. Specific gravity is 1.6. I always hate how this thing has so many different measurements. I wish it was just one measurement. Okay, so we're right at the green line. So we're moving at 1.15, which is really good. All right, so at least that one's going, and we'll have to see where that one goes probably in about a week or so. So we'll pour that back in on the top and keep going with that fermentation, little buddies. Make me some alcohol, love it. I did notice after I first did it, my top was off by a bit, and I'm not sure how, because I seal it really good each time. I'm pretty sure that airlock is okay, so I just don't know why the top popped off of there. But anyway, cool. So we'll see how the grapes do in about a week after it stops fermenting, and yeah, go from there. All right. Well, if you've enjoyed this little segment, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll chat with you later. And also, if you have any winemaking tips, I could use them because like I'm a rank beginner at this, YouTube top. So yeah, if I'm screwing something up, let me know in the comment section down below, and happy brewing.